Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, where we are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yamitra Jojo. Whether if this is your first time joining, I appreciate you joining the Fearless Morning Show. I am the only Live Past Crazy specialist. If you're wondering what that is, it's when life is crazy and you're having a hard time getting past it and or stopping the crazy. I am the woman you need to call to help make that happen. Let me add my fearless co-host. I think she clicked add. Or I'm adding her. Anyway. It's having a great morning. Make sure you share the video, y'all. If we are saying something that is for you, that is helping you, make sure you share.
Hey,
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm Peachy. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. Hold on, give me a second.
Oh, no problem. I'm just trying to get my life together over here. So I'm right there with you. It's going to be a fabulous Tuesday.
Yes, it is. It is indeed. I saw the post on your page this morning from Jamal Bryant about that procrastination is disobedience is slow motion. I was like, oh,
he broke my toe. He broke my toe, honey.
Yes, procrastination is disobedience in slow motion, guys. So it goes directly into the quote for this morning. So I love that. And he stepped on my toes this morning. But the thing is, this quote this morning is by Benjamin Disraeli. And I hope I didn't butcher his name. But the message is what's most important, right? And the message this morning from his quote is action may not always bring happiness, but there's no happiness without action, right? Action may not always bring happiness, but there's no happiness without action. And I thought,
most miserable people I know are sitting on their couch complaining.
Right. And not only that, I'm just thinking about even those things that we hate to do that have to be done, right? It might not bring you happiness, but you have to. Yes. Disobedience, procrastination is disobedience in slow motion. Yes, ma'am. That's what we said.
How come I can't see comments? Good morning, Trenda. My phone is just being funny. It's all right. It's going to be okay. I can see on the other screen.
Okay. All right. I just thought that was so profound this morning. And it ties in with everything that we do, guys. And the key today, and it ties in also with my financial confession, it's all about taking action. So what are those strategies? What are those things that you need to be doing to make sure that you are investing in the right way, that you're managing your money in the right way? So I am Lynn Demmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach. And we thank you so much, guys, for joining us here at the Fearless Morning Show, where we're having those confessions and conversations about everyday life and finances, right?
Yes, to the ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So today what I wanted to share with you, and I have my notes, and these are just money strategies that work, right? Oftentimes,
that was a little bit too much ginger. It burned my throat.
Oh my gosh, what's happening? You look like I was like, oh no, we might have to tell somebody to call now. She looks like, okay, I'm so glad you're okay. Yes.
Just a bit too much ginger. All is well. Carry on.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, this morning we're simply going through and just continuing the conversation. So yesterday we talked essentially about there are no secrets to success, right? There are no secrets. They're simply hard work that you must do. And 3 key things that I shared, first of all, is that you have to get in the game. Whether we're talking about our money, saving, investing, retirement, guys. You have to get in the game. Simple as that. If you're not in it, the same thing they said about the lottery, right? You got to be in it to win it, right?
Yep.
So you need to be in it. You need to be involved. You need to be intentional. You need to set whatever it is that you need to set so that you're managing your money in the most appropriate way for you and your family. So that's why we titled this today, Money Strategies That Work. All right. Money strategies that work are those strategies that you have identified that fit your financial situations, not strategies that someone else told you worked, but something that is tried and true for you, that you've actually put to the test and you say, yes, this works for me. All right. So after you get in the game, the thing you have to do is to get your head in the game. By getting your head in the game, we talked about this yesterday. You got to think things through. What are those things that you now need to be doing, and doing them in a committed way? Not a I want to do it, not a I need to do it, I am committed to doing this, right? So you have to make sure you do this, and you have to make sure that you're consistent. So the last thing is to stay in the game. And one of the things that I love that we shared was, guys, don't focus on what you lost. Focus on what remains and move on from there. See, I think that's very important as we talk about money strategies that work, because we can't dwell in the past. And I think that tends to be the problem for many of us when we think about the strategies that are related to our money, because our past can tend to weigh us down and pull us down. And if we keep thinking there, if we keep our mind there, right? That's why I say get your mind in the game. You can't always dwell on what happened to you in the past. You got to move past that. Push, like Jojo said, press the gas, right? And move to your next. So that's very important for us in our money. So what are those strategies that I want to share with you today that we need to use and to do to push past all of this? How do you get to your next in your finances? What are the money strategies that can work for you? Well, first things first, guys, you have to know where you are, right? And in knowing where you are, I say this all the time, know your numbers.
Yes.
Where everything that you have that you need in order to know your numbers. I'm just going to give you a quick list really quickly of all the types of things that I've written down. Now, this is not a complete list, but this is a list of the majority of things that most people have, right? That you definitely need to make sure you know as far as identifying what your net worth is. And oftentimes we talk about net worth is your assets minus your liabilities, right? And then we also talked about the fact that the millionaire mind assets are only those that make them money, right? So first things first, though, let's see where we are, right? By knowing your numbers. So what are those things you need to have in place? First and foremost, do you have property deeds, right, to your homes and things of that nature? Do you know where those are? What about your vehicle titles, any tax records, wills and trusts, your bank accounts, your credit card information, any medical records, your birth and your marriage certificates? Do you know where all of those things are? And do you have those in a safe space? By pulling all of that information together and compiling it, guys, it's going to help you to roughly identify what your net worth is. All right. Once you have that, you'll see what you own versus what you owe. All right. What you own versus what you owe. And then you're going to be able to subtract the difference to come up with what your net worth actually is. All right. Now that gives you a rough estimate, and I'm talking through this quickly because we haven't completely put down numbers for everything, because essentially you could go through your home and say increase your net worth significantly if you look at everything that you own. But truth be told, what is the likelihood of you being able to sell those things that we've bought, right? What is the likelihood of you being able to sell those things for what you bought it for? It's highly unlikely, because a lot of the times people don't value used items as much as they do new, right? Because we are a consumeristic society who wants the new, the best, who wants to be the first at everything that we do, right? We want the first, we want the latest iPhone. As soon as it comes out, we'll go stand in line at the Apple store, wait out in the cold, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
at Best Buy and at the holidays. It kills me the day after Thanksgiving. Why are you camping out at Best Buy? But that's a completely different scope. A completely different video. But what I want to talk about this morning, guys, make sure you know your numbers. Yes, absolutely. So you can get the right perspective, right? Where am I truly? Where do I truly stand? And how much work do I really need to do? See, that's the key. That's priority number one as far as utilizing strategies that work. Absolutely, Trenda. Depreciation, right? It comes into play. And that's one of the reasons, guys, that I do not purchase brand new cars anymore. Why? Because of depreciation. The value declines significantly just driving off the lot. What do? I typically buy a car that's 3 years old. And then how do I do it? I typically try to have enough money saved up to go and get it so that I could either pay cash for it, or if I can't pay cash for it, I can pay it off within 1 to 2 years because I don't want to carry a car note for a long period of time. See, that's what I do. See, that's why I'm able to drive now without a car note because that is a priority for me. That's something that I've chosen not to do. And my car looks awesome. I say it. My car looks awesome. And you'd be like, wow. But Lynn is not carrying a car note because that is a priority for me, right? So we have to look at things and do things differently as far as our lives are concerned. And having this net worth conversation and actually knowing your numbers is going to help to position you to start thinking, right? We talked about getting your head in the game. So how do we now do things differently to move to our next? All right. So that was the first thing, guys. Make sure you know your numbers. The second thing, the second problem that we tend to run into, the strategy that we miss, and we miss this hard. So I need to make sure you're tuned in right now. We miss this in a big way, is what I'm trying to say. Guys, most of the time we don't have a team of trusted advisors that can help us in our finances. Why? Because we don't know all of the rules of money. And because we don't know all of the rules of money, we need people on our team. We need to surround ourselves with people who actually do know. So that's why you need to have all of those different individuals. You said Facebook is having issues. Okay. It's having issues. I hope that you all can hear me. It may be having some internet connection issues. I'm not exactly sure what it's having issues with, but it will be okay. But guys, we need to make sure we have a team of trusted advisors. That's your financial advisors, your financial coaches. Good morning, Sandra. Thank you so much for joining us. You need a CPA or a tax professional on your team. You need attorneys. All of these people are going to be invaluable when you're talking about managing your money in the most appropriate way. You say, well, Lynn, I don't have any money. I don't need all those people right now. No, but what I'm doing is I'm getting you set up for when you do. See, we have to think differently. It's not where you are right now. It's where you plan to be. And we have to think about our futures. So once we get to this level, see, that's what I'm setting you up for. You don't want to stay where you are, right? You don't want to stay at this level to continue to be broke, busted, and disgusted, or just living a middle class life, or just living a high middle class life. You want to continue to grow and move to your next. So how do you do that? You do that by, am I freezing on your end as well, JoJo? No? Okay.
No, you're doing great on me for me.
Okay. All right. So
Just try going out and coming back in again and see if that helps.
Yes, yes. So one of the things I also need to add, because this typically is where I add this disclaimer: I am not your tax advisor. I am not your attorney. However, I do know that this information is for educational purposes and it will position you in the right way to get to your next. So if you know, number one was to know your net worth, to know your numbers. And number two is to make sure you have that trusted team of advisors. And that does not mean that you only you said, what do you think of Legal Shield? Well, Trenda, to be honest, Legal Shield is a good starting point. But I personally, Do not use Legal Shield. I have individual people that I have either known or individual people that have been recommended to me that I work with to support me in different areas. So what I try to do is try to work with other females, and this is new, other Black females that I'm now working with in this area, because that's an area that we simply need to support each other better in. So I do know an actual what is her name? I can't think of her name right now, but she does work with Legal Shield, and we have had that conversation. It is a great place to start. However, I'll say this: I have not and do not work directly with them. Right? I work with individuals who are sole proprietors, or they have LLCs right now who are trying to grow their businesses. So that's one of the things that I do, but it doesn't mean, like we're talking, these are money strategies that work for you. So you have to figure out, guys, what works best for you and what it is that you do. But the number one thing, the number one priority is that you do get a team of trusted advisors on your side, so that when you do start making these money moves, when you do have money available in that savings account that you now want to invest, that you have the appropriate people in your circle that you can now go to and ask and say, hey, and these guys will be your thought leaders, guys. They're going to be the ones that are on the cutting edge, that are going to say, hey, have you considered this? This could potentially be a game changer for you. So you have to make sure that you have that team of people around you now. Don't wait until you make it and think you're going to get the right people. Get the people on your team now that are going to help you to move. And this is one of the quotes that I'm recalling real quickly. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with a team. Right? I probably butchered that just a little bit and didn't quote it exactly, but you get the gist of the message, right? If you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, go with a team. Because if you go fast, you think about running. If you start out, you want to do a marathon. If you start out running, giving it your all and going very fast, do you think you're going to make it to the finish line? Chances are no, because you're going to get tired. You're going to get winded. I know I do, right? If I start out running, trying to give my all, and I know that I have a 10-mile marathon that I need to run, and if I give it my all right there in the beginning, chances are I am not going to do well. I'm going to get so winded, and I'm going to start walking. And then eventually I might even just give up, right? But if I start out and steady it with a pace with everybody else that's running, right? Get with a group of people who are in the marathon and keep that pace. You guys keep each other motivated. The same thing in your finances, guys, when you identify who your trusted team of advisors are. Get them in place now, so that when you get to your next, when you get to that point where you're at that millionaire status, or whatever your goal happens to be, have your team in place, so you don't have to, this is it. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's stay ready.
That's right.
You have to get ready. So these are strategies that you need to utilize, guys, to manage your money. Figure out the strategy that works for you. The next thing, guys, is we have to be intentional in every goal that we set and the priorities that we put in place as we move forward to reach those goals. And I know you guys are probably tired of hearing this, but we have to have SMART goals. Trenda said the team is an attorney, a CPA, Lynn and JoJo. Anyone else needed on the team? Well, absolutely. We left out the first and foremost, most important person that needs to be on your team, and that's the big G. We need him on the team, absolutely. Before the attorney, before the CPA, before Lynn and JoJo, right? Because it's faith, family, then your finances. But I know what you meant, Trenda. I'm just joking with you, having a little fun, but that is the truth. He comes first, right? But yeah, that's who you need on your team, right? On your
That's a great combination.
On your money team. Yes, yes, your money and your life team. Absolutely. Guys, but you also need to make sure that in setting the goals, we were talking about setting those goals, that we set SMART goals. And you say, oh, no, Lynn, not those SMART goals again. I have to do that at work. Oh my gosh, I have to do that at wherever. But when you set SMART goals in your finances, guys, it allows you to be able to build a different type of momentum. Because what do we mean by SMART goals? Just for those who may not be aware, SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, results oriented, and time specific goals. If your goals are SMART goals and they have all of those key components within it, that allows you to now be able to say that I will reach goal X by this time, and I will know that I have made it because these are the results that I have achieved, right?
Yeah.
That allows you to think differently, to actually set out the path, right? To back map is essentially what we call it. Because once you have that goal written out that way, you have to back map what are the steps I need to take to now get to that, and then start to actually taking the steps. See, these are money strategies that you can use, but you have to identify and realize, recognize what works for you. And then after you have those goals, guys, make sure that you're proactive. This is the last thing. Make sure that you're proactive in everything that you do. Once you have that goal, if that goal is that you want to be able to invest, everybody knows one of my goals. I need to be able to invest to ensure that I have $100,000 for my baby by the time he graduates from high school. I know the year and everything. I have my dollar amount. It's specific, it's measurable, and it's attainable for me, and it's results oriented, and I know the exact time. And now, and what I did to do that is I actually developed the strategy. Okay, so now what does it take to get to $100,000 by this time? So I took the number of years, figured out the number of months, and calculated the monies that would be needed for each of those months. And then once I identified the money that was needed for each of those months, then I took out the time now to decide, okay, so what strategy do I need to put in place to make sure that I meet that dollar amount every month? What are the things that I can now do? What are the places I can now invest? What needs to happen to ensure that I meet this goal? See, I had to walk it out, right? And I'm consistently walking that thing out because I'm committed to that. Because student loans were painful for me, right? And I'm just making sure, just like I told you, when I get a headache, I go get Advil, right? That pain was my student loan. The Advil is paying it off. So for my son, his Advil is going to already be waiting for him, where he can now decide, do I want to go to college or do I want to start a business? See, it positions us differently once we do these things and set ourselves up for success. And that's the whole goal, guys, right?
Yeah.
So I want to go ahead and close it off this morning for the money strategies that work. And the whole premise, the whole purpose, and what I want you to take with you today, if you catch nothing else, is you have to identify the strategies that work for you, and you must take action. Because procrastination is disobedience in slow motion. Hope you catch that. Disobedience in slow motion. Well, y'all, that's it from the Financial Rebound Coach this morning. I hope that you got what you needed. And if you didn't, go back and listen. It's in there. You missed it. All right. Passing over to you, co-host.
All right, guys. Lynn doesn't know this, but she stole my topic this morning, Lynn. But and here's the thing, we often don't speak until in the mornings until we get on here. So she had no way of knowing that she took my topic. But I'm going to use, because I'm going in a totally different direction. Mine is searching for knowledge and learning to think differently. So mine is along the same lines, but I got you, Lynn. Lynn, you did good. I took my notes, and a lot of this, guys. Once you start getting it together and you build your momentum and you get used to looking at your numbers, because when you first look at them, you will cry. You'll probably be like, doggone, like for real. And then sometimes you may be excited because you're better off than what you thought, but you have to know. So my topic for today is to think differently. As you're learning this knowledge, it's all about the mindset, because if our mindset is not ready to receive more knowledge or to do something differently, we will not, we're not going to get it. Yeah, she's a saucy lady, Trenda. And disobedience does bring pain. When I saw that yesterday, I was like, he is all on he broke my toes with that one yesterday. Because y'all know I'm queen of procrastination. And sometimes I have to check myself. So when you guys, as we're on this fearless journey to live past crazy in our life and our finances, we have truly got to be, as Lynn words are, be committed to thinking differently and doing things differently as we learn in this knowledge. And here is my confession for the day. When we are, and I think sometimes because we're so excited, we want to share our information, and we invite you guys to share the show, share information, and know that sometimes people are not accepted. And this was a hard lesson I had to learn. When I started to do things differently and I got all excited, Lynn, I would go to my friends and I now was the expert on telling them how to live their life. Them people looked at me like, who are you to be telling me what to do with my life? And so sometimes you walk a very thin line of being very egotistical, having a big head. Ooh, I'm always right. Let me tell you something. And sharing information, there's a fine line. And I went totally to the left. Oh, your life is crazy. You don't know it. I went totally left, and people were looking at me like I was crazy. And so this is what I found out. It is sometimes it's not my job to correct anybody. It may be my job to encourage them, but more importantly, it is my job to model to them the knowledge that I am learning and the mindset that I have created. That's my job. My sole job is to model it to them. It is not to correct them. It may not even be to encourage them. It may not even be to inform them. It is to walk it out so that they can see it. What I'm saying is matching my actions. I think I talked about that last week. Is my behavior matching my words? And so even though I was telling them, y'all crazy, you don't need to be with that man, your life crazy. Oh, I know them signs. Let me tell you what's about to happen. And it all could have been true, Lynn. And it probably was, because y'all know how I feel about being right. Thank you, Lord, for working on me with that one. Amen. But I had to realize it's more important for me to walk it out and model it to them than it is for me to tell them. And I know I say this all the time. It's better to have peace of mind than to be right sometimes. And that was a hard one for me, especially when you see your girlfriends or your guy friends or your family members just doing crazy. And you like, let me help you. I got you. Let me turn you around and put you, on the right track. Yes, Squeaky, live by example. And that was hard for me, because I love to share information and I love to tell people, hey, I just want to help you. And if you look at it this way, this is where you're going wrong. And they were looking at me like, you 2 seconds past crazy yourself. Just 2. And then you're going to try to tell me how to fix it? So then I had to model it. So now it's been some years and people have seen me do, live, and think differently. Now they don't have a problem when I come and now I can come the right way without the ego, without, ooh, let me tell you what you're doing wrong. I can come the right way and share the information the right way, because it's all about how they're going to receive it and take it in. Because here's my thing. I can receive information all day. And it reminds me, y'all know Cosby Show. I love Bill Cosby. And when Vanessa bought home Thaddeus, was that his name? And he was like, she was like, we getting married. And Bill Cosby is like, you may be a very nice man. Remember this lid? He said, but and he had a trash can lid. He said, you're a very nice, educated man. He said, and it's all in presentation. Vanessa brought you in here on the trash can lid. So I can't see anything but the trash that you sitting on the trash can lid, as opposed to presenting the best stuff. So sometimes you got to walk that out. You got to model it so that they can see it. And then it's all on how you present it to them. How I was doing it in the beginning, how I was telling people, oh, I'm changing my life. I'm living past crazy. Well, you just got out of the shelter. You just got a job. You barely making it. You barely doing all this. That's right, Trin. I had to build that, and I had to be consistent. And so they couldn't receive what I was saying because I was giving it to them on a trash can lid. Now that I cleaned the table up and I got the table set, they can receive the exact same information. It's just presented differently. So we have to be careful, especially when we telling people how to live past their crazy in their life and their finances. It's hard because those are two major pain points. Two big pain points. No, I never wanted to talk about my money. It wasn't your business. It wasn't your problem. Stay out my money. I ain't got none. You want to give me some? That was the only conversation I wanted to have. But it is all in how people present it. So today, guys, this is Take Action Tuesday. So I want you to think about how you presenting your information, how you sharing the information with your people. And then as you search for knowledge, learn that you're learning to think differently. And it's all about your mindset. Once your mindset is there and developed, then as people can see the change, because some of us, me included, we got to see the results first before we do the action. I don't care how much you tell me. I still got, Lynn can preach all day about me pulling my finances. Until I sit down and look at them, it ain't going to work. And I got to see Lynn do it first. And I have to see how it's working out in her life. If I'm telling you to live past crazy, you can't come to my house and see crazy and expect me to know what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying? So your actions have got to match your behavior. So on this Take Action Tuesday, guys, as you search for knowledge, know that you are thinking differently. As you think differently, as you share your information, be careful as we present this information to our friends and family, how we present it to them. And if you don't know how, bring them on over to the Fearless Morning Show. And if they don't have Facebook, we have a YouTube channel so they can catch up on all the Fearless Morning shows they want to, because I am the only Live Past Crazy specialist that can help you get past the crazy, because if I don't know anything else, I know crazy for sure. All right, Lynn, that is it for the Fearless Morning Show. And guys, as always, if y'all have any questions, please post them below or send us a message and let us know if there's any topic you want us to cover. Lynn, you want to tell them about anything else before we go?
Guys, just want to thank you so much for joining us for the Fearless Morning Show each morning. And remember that I will be releasing another book this month as well. I know She Wouldn't Let Me Fall also released this month, and I'll be getting those links over to those who want to purchase, and I'll ship those to you. But don't forget about the Raising a Financial Genius. I am also putting that out there for those of you who have children and you want to raise your children in the right way as far as their finances. They don't have to make the same mistakes that we did, right, guys? They do not. So in this book, I'm actually giving you, it's a two-part book. There are the things that you do with your child in part one, but part two is your work, it's your homework. These are the things you got to do for you, the things that you have to work on to get to your next, so that you are not providing those same behaviors, whether knowingly or unknowingly, passing those on to the next generation. So how do we change it? How do we switch this thing up? Because poverty is not for me. Lack is not for me. And it's definitely not for my family and not for my generations to come. Nobody that comes behind me, if they follow these principles and guidelines that we're putting into place and set up these strategies, there is no reason, right, for us to continue down this path. So guys, if you are interested in receiving that, don't forget to text the word finances to 345-345. Gonna help you get your life together and help you get your children right together. Get those money strategies that work. And then I'll also have a workbook that's coming along with that too, guys. For those of you who are on this Fearless Morning Show, I will gift the book to you if you text finances to 345-345. For those of you who that do not catch it from the Fearless Morning Show, they're going to have to pay. So make sure you share this information so that we're providing hope across the land, helping one person every day, right? All right, that's it for me this morning. Don't forget to text finances to 345-345.
All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. Lynn and I, if you missed our first webinar, we will have Love Your Life, Love Your Finances Part 2, April 7th, Lynn?
I have to look at the exact date, but that does sound correct.
So we'll be posting more information for that. So in case you guys missed part 1, you can catch us with part 2. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing day. And remember, your children are always watching you. Let me tell you, they are always watching, no matter how big or how small. They always want to be like mommy or daddy. And mommy is I ain't gonna say she's way more influential, because if you're a daddy's girl like my sister was, daddy was everything for her. But mommies are always the best when it comes to showing and teaching life lessons. And can I just throw this in here just as a side note? Y'all know the Proverbs 31 woman, and we always say we want to be her. If you go back to the beginning of that chapter, he's talking to his mama, and his mama told him what to look for in a woman. So imagine, mama is on it, honey. She's always on it. She's always going to give you the information. And we as women, as we are teaching our households, we've got to be intentional about that thing, because whether we know it or not, our children are taking notes. They are watching, and they are modeling behind us every step of the way. So be intentional about your actions today, and just know a little person is listening and they are watching. So that's my little soapbox for the day. All right, guys, have a great day. Thank you for joining the Fearless Morning Show. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 7:15. Bright and early. And if you have anything you want us to cover, any topics or questions, please send us a message, and we'll be glad to get in touch with you and cover that topic for you. All right, have a great day. I'll see you guys bright and early in the morning. Have a good one.
Signing off.